Alright. Hello everybody! It's me, Generic Pie, with another video for you today on this very hot, sweltering uh, Monday evening in the UK. It's hot, and I've actually turned off my fan, so the sound quality is a bit better for you guys, so I'm suffering for your enjoyment. So, this game today, I just played it against Michael. I think that's how you pronounce Michael is German, so I think it's pronounced Michael. Apologies if that's a horrendous pronunciation. Michael is one of the top players on the server, usually ranked kind of in the top 10, top 20. So I was excited to play him. I'd never played him before. And sometimes I start off these videos by qualifying them by saying, it's not that great a game. It's all right. This game is a good game. It's an interesting game. So I think you'll enjoy it. I was the free people, and Mihail was the shadow, and we didn't use any tokens or anything like that. We went straight good old-fashioned vanilla base. And it started like this. I drew into Dane and Ents, and Mihail drew into Pits of Mordor and Orc Patrol. Pits of Mordor, one of the better cards you can start off with. Dane's is it's playable. Good card to start with as well. So relatively evenly matched. Mihail gets an okay. Well, not really an okay. It's a below average roll. 3 Palantirs. You can't get any minions. And I get this absolute beauty. It's absolutely lovely roll with no movement and a whole lot of mustery things. I say nice lol. I pass. Yeah, Mihail says his roll is also bad, which is true. I think mine's worse. But they're both pretty awful. So he draws into Olokai. Nice card to draw as well. Then gets Sauron to war, which usually when someone goes Sauron straight away, it makes me think, uh-oh, they're going to go up here. So let's see what he does. I decided at this point to get the elves down to war, because I was thinking I could play Dane straight off the bat, draw into another card, but I think, I don't want to show my hand too early, so I will do a generic safe move. You want to get the elves down at some point. I feel like it's a good way of buying me a little bit of time to see what he does, but he doesn't move anyway. He plays Pits of Mordor. And gets them in where you'd probably expect, into Gundabad, Moria, and Dol Guldur. I then decide, yeah, I gotta just play it. So I play Dane, draw into the Spirit of Mordor. A nice scouts, just what you want to see. Probably the perfect card to draw into actually at this point in time, one of the best. Some standard movements. I get the Old Forest Road fella into position. Mihail has a think, and he decides to attack, and I scout away. So, all things considered, that went relatively well for me. Now, I do a big think, because what do you do here? Do you get the north down? Do you get the elves down? What do you do? Do you do something else? I don't know what else you'd do, really. Maybe Gondor. So my thinking was, if I get the north down, it's going to pressure him into attacking Dale at the start of next turn. He's going to take Dale, then he's going to, if I muster a guy in Carrick, he's going to take Carrick as well. So I'm basically going to use a bunch of dice to probably not actually do that much. Maybe if I had another scouts or something and I could scout away from Dale, I would be more inclined to do that. But I think the net gain from it is it really worth, like getting one guy in Carrick who's probably going to die? So I decide I don't think it's worth that. So I can't remember what I did actually. I think I decide to just bring the elves down, and then that puts pressure on him to attack Woodland Realm, which leaves the north free that little bit longer. So yeah, so I think because I've done that before, when you try and do something with, you try and force them to attack the north, and they just attack the north, and then they die anyway, so it doesn't really make a difference. So anyway, so he plays Olokai, which makes me more vindicated, because I think the North play is probably just to kind of weaken the army, but his army's too strong anyway. Anyway, we carry on. He draws into fighting Erech, and the ring is mine. And I draw into Elven Rope and the Book of Mizarble. Okay, so this gets me thinking, haha, perhaps I can get some dwarves into play. I've just played Dane Ironfoot's Guard. I can get someone up here, you know, when I finally get some movement, get perhaps Gimli or someone up here and make this a conundrum for the Shadow. So he rolls, gets no eyes. Just man. No movement, no wills, no nothing. Great, thank you, game. So yeah. So what are the odds of that, man? No movement in 8 dice is pretty wild. So you've got a 50% chance of rolling either a C or a W on every single die. So to not do it with 8 dice is pretty crazy. And to do it against 0 eyes really, really hurts. Because look at this roll. This is almost a dream roll. A dream roll. It's got versatility, but it's predominantly got a ton of attacks. Maybe you want some musters rather than hybrids, but it doesn't really make a difference. It's a great roll. It's a great roll. So let's see what I do. I pass. Do I play a card here? I think I decide to play a card early to hopefully draw into something else that I can do something with before, you know, maybe I draw into Thrandral's Archers, maybe I draw into something useful, so I just want to start drawing cards. So I draw a card, I get Kindred of Glorfindel, which is okay. At least it means I can draw into 2 more cards, which is good. Mikhail gets Isengard's War, I play Kindred, draw into 2 more cards, and I draw into Double Confusion. Double Confusion. And then we get Saruman into play. Standard stuff, you know, just makes sense. He's got this. Yeah, so this is the only thing he can do with that other than draw another card. So I think that's fine. You wanna play that tile, and then goes for Woodland Realm. So maybe that justifies my thinking. So now we go Operation North. So now I know that the North are free, so I can move the North down. That pressures him to attack Dale, where I can use one of my confusions. And then I can, you know, actually, I'm not worried about Carrick being taken. You know, he'd have to move 2 guys across from Gundabad or move this army. So Carrick's pretty free now. So I think that kind of played out quite nicely. Except for the fact that I had a fucking dogshit start and I'm going to lose the game. So anyway, so he attacks Dale. No cards. I play my confusion. So he's worried that I had another scouts. Yeah, which I would also have been worried about. But he does roll 2 1s, so that's good. He gets a hit though, so not perfect, but you know you can't complain. Cannot complain about that. And I get a 3rd hit, so 3 hits. So that worked out nicely. Good job, Dale. And then I start, because I mean, in this situation, like, in some other games I might thinking about moving down Gondor or trying to do something else. But in this situation, I'm just like, let's just... All I've got to cling on to is the fact that the North are at war. Everything else is just, you know, awful. So let's make Carrick an annoyance. This army is a lot smaller thanks to the confusion. Let's try and build an army in Carrick. Alright, then he gets the Witch King, and with his final trick attacks Woodland Realm. I presume I play my other confusion here. I do. And what happens this time? He gets 1 hit, and he gets a hit back. And I get 3 hits. So the game's not going my way in terms of dice, or in terms of, you know, the action dice, but combat's actually going quite well for me. So it's made that very big army very small very quickly. So understandably, Mihail stops, and we go into turn 3. He draws into Morgul Wound, and the shadow lengthens. And what do I get? Challenge of the King, Faramir's Rangers. So Faramir's good. Challenge of the King, Sudden Strike, maybe useful later, who knows. Fellowship, very okay. Just doing nothing. These hobbits are just like sitting around, wondering like, so are we gonna leave? I'm doing this action here with the watch. Are we gonna be kind of leaving about now? You know, the Force of Evil are gonna kill us. You know, we're kind of gonna do something. But nope, they decide to hang around. One eye in the hunt. And they're gonna hang around a bit longer, I'm afraid. So we've got 12 dice with no wills and no character dice. I mean, I don't know what the odds of that are. I can't be asked to look it up. Maybe I'll do that afterwards. Actually, you know what? I'm going to pause and check. Okay, so I've just looked it up, and the easiest way I could think to do it was because, you know, it's basically like tossing a coin, because there's 3 sides that are C's and W's, and the rest are musters and hybrids and palantirs. So it's 0.00024. Though that's the odds of what just happened happening. 0.00024. I think that's right. So that's cool. That's fun. So I just do like ellipsis. Yep. Come on. And laugh. And I go and vent in the venting channel. Mikael's laughing a little bit. Yeah, it's quite funny. When the game does this to you, you've got to just laugh. I think like you can't take it too seriously. It's just absurd. Anyway, so he flips. So I just say this is so dumb, and I pass because I'm just like, what else am I gonna do? And also because he's got a really nice roll this time because he's got a load of musters, which means he can not only get the Southrons to war, but he can just muster up a ton of guys, and then he's got like shadow lengthens to get them all into position. So it's really nice dice for Mihail. So I just think, screw it, Operation Carrick, let's go. We get two big guys. Southrons go to war. I get another big guy. He gets another guy in South Rune, so it's just a turn of mustering effectively. I start passing. Looking, yeah, maybe this was a mistake. Given I just didn't think he would have shadow lengthens, so I think I've got time on my side. I think he hasn't got any character. Is he going to use a character dice to get Nazgul down here to start moving these guys up? So I think I've got loads of time. Nothing to worry about. It's okay. I've got time. I decide to pass again. He moves armies into position. I get another elite. And then we get the Shadow Lengthens. Where does the other one go? Oh yeah, then he gets this army from Gorgoroth over to Minas Morgul as well. So that's annoying because I could have used this army dice to go here. I'm not sure if it would have worked out anyway, but he would have at least had to have used a character dice to get guys to East Rune, get some leadership here, and then move the 2 dice to get there. So it would have cost him significantly more dice. So Shadow Lengthens is like the dream card for that situation, pretty much. So that's also difficult for my mental state in this game. So anyway, so I get the Old Forest Road guys down. What did I do? And then I get the Iron Hills fella into Erebor because, you know, this army is very big. He's probably going to go for Erebor at some point, or at least that's a threat, so I want to do that. There's nothing going on down here really, so not too worried. And with his final trick, he moves Nazgul and then changes his mind and then decides to go for Woodland Realm. So a bit of a risk here, but if it pays off, then it can be super efficient. Because otherwise you've got to, it's a really slow. You've got to move all the guys across, and you've got to move the army back, and then you've got to move the thing with the thing, and the stuff with the stuff. So like, if he attacks Woodland Realm and then it goes okay in the first round, he can. It just saves him a ton of hassle. So I play Sudden Strike because Challenge the King. Not bother about that. He plays Black Breath. I do my pre. I miss. He rolls 3. He misses. 6 dice misses. And then I rolled 3 dice and I also miss. So missing all over the shop. No one can hit anyone. So I'm thinking, okay, that's good. I think I might be alright here. And Mihail takes a risk and decides to press. So this is kind of, I mean, you haven't got that much to lose, but this goes poorly, you are in danger. Um, I guess you can use the other C to run the Witch King away if it goes really badly, so it's not the end of the world. Draws into dreadful spells. Plays a card. I play. I thought. I was just thinking I want to survive here. I thought he might have kept one of his stronger cards for the second round. But he plays Onslaught, and I think maybe this was a mistake because Book of Mizarble could have come in useful, you know. But I just wanted to survive. I don't know. Let me think. Let me know what you think. Was that the wrong decision? Anyway, like I think my thinking was like, I'm so screwed. How am I gonna get? Not only I'd need to draw a movement card to get armies up here, and by the time I've done it, he's probably attacked Erebor anyway. But maybe I should have kept that threat alive, considering he's, I have got a big army here. I think I probably should have kept that threat of Mizarble alive, given him something to think about. 6-3 versus 2-3 with an 8 army below. Anyway, so maybe that was a mistake. So Mikhail gets one hit. I keep missing, so that's really annoying. Not hitting anything at all. I could have, even if I got just a couple of hits there, one hit would have given him a real tricky decision to make. But anyway, he can play his Onslaught without anything to worry about. Gets his hits. Woodland Realm's dead. This game is going horribly. And then he moves most of the Nazgul down south, because I think he doesn't really fancy Erebor with this army here, understandably. So he's just going to protect what he's got, consolidate, and then he's got mega armies down here to just destroy Gondor. So we go into turn 4. I draw into We Prove the Swifter and Grimbeorn, or more likely Scouts in this situation. And he draws into another delicious card. Oh my god. So what a combo. So as if this game wasn't going awfully enough for me, he then draws into Deadly Strife. Well, of course there's Vamba, obviously. Black Captain as well. So 2 amazing cards. And I draw into We Prove the Swifter and Grimbeorn. So let's see what the rolls are here. And I kind of joked I'm going to go for 16 dice with no movement. Gets 1 eye in the hunt. Yeah, so I think what made it extra painful in the 3 rounds before is that he only rolled 2 eyes. So I had no movement against... and I would have got tons of... I had 1 turn, 0 movement against 0 eyes. 0 movement against 1 eye, 1 eye. So it was a perfect storm of nonsense. So I go, woohoo! Because I've actually got some movement. So here, suddenly, a plan forms in my mind, There's no way in hell I'm going to get the Fellowship to Mordor. But with We Prove the Swifter, I can get a ton of guys here to Old Forest Road. And then suddenly, military is on the table, right? So all I've got to do is move once, and then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I can get as many companions as I want into Old Forest Road. So that was very fortuitous for me. That's one of the only cards. Are there any other cards that let you do 2 extra movement? I can't remember. I think there may be 1 or 2, but that was one of the only cards that could have done that for me in that moment. So that was good. Bit of luck. So I moved the Fellowship. They're missed. Mikhail moves here to so I was thinking, if I move everyone out and get Gandalf here, I can use one of these rings to turn Gandalf into Gandalf the White. But when he does this move, my son thought was, I've got to play Faramir's, man. I've got to play Faramir's, because if I need to get a military victory, not only do I need to take this, I need to take something down here. And with Faramir's, that makes that a lot more viable. It hurts this army. It allows me to buff up this army. So even though it probably means I'm not going to get Gandalf the White this turn, because I also, again, this is a big decision. Maybe it was an error, but my thinking was I've got to move as much as I possibly can. I might not roll movement next turn. So while I've got movement, army movement that is, I've got to just use it, Having an extra dice next to her might not be any good for me if I roll Palantirs if I roll, you know, dice that I can't actually use to do it, you know, musters or whatever. So I'm thinking in the short term, prioritizing army movements to really to really put Mihail under threat this turn. Because he's not going to know what's coming, right? I'm going to keep it secret. I'm going to play Reaper the Swifter. So he's not thinking military is a threat at all. So he's going to be playing his game, you know, thinking this game's like the easiest win he's ever going to have. But once he's used all his attack dice, then I can spring the trap, kind of, or spring the surprise, and see, and then he might not have enough dice to react to it. So I decide to use Faramir's. I don't know why I used the. I don't know why I decided to use Will. Maybe I used the Will because I was worried that he might draw into Day Without Dawn, especially if I was waiting 3 turns. So, because that would be the end if I lost 2 dice. So Faramir's goes great. That's really good. 3 hits. And I get the dudes into Osgiliath, draw into advantageous position, so it's Nereidor. Mihail has a think, and now he's going for his Corsair. So I see this, and I'm just like, oh, come on. Like, come on. After all this, and you've also drawn into Corsairs. Because why else do you make that move at this point? You know, I presume he's got it, because otherwise he's got the dice to just charge in if he wanted to. That would be the other play, because I mean, I can muster, but then I have to use the 2 dice to muster. Anyway, so I think, yeah, he's probably got Corsairs. And I do a ominous face. And he plays Corsairs. Dolamroth, and I say darn, not what I needed. He then plays Blackout to Command. So it's like, oh man, come on. So good. Attack Dolamroth, no card, no cards. I decide, when you know a stronghold's going down, what's the point of even playing cards, so I don't bother. He takes, the first round goes pretty badly for him, but the second round is a complete wipeout, and lo and behold, Dolamroth is gone. I forgot to kill my units, I killed them, and Mihail is up to 5 victory points on 4 turns, with a bunch of extra dice to use. Now we're in action. I guess I could have waited here. I don't know why I did it then. Maybe I should have waited a bit longer there. I think I was worried that... I think what I was thinking was, if he starts going for Pelargir, I wanted to have the opportunity to maybe use this dice to... Okay, yeah, so my thinking was, I need to get these guys into position in case he attacks here or here, then I can use scouts to get down, and then I can use this to move 2 combined armies at once close to their destinations of Umbar and Dol Guldur. So I was worried that he would attack Osgiliath. I'd get the army down to Western Horondor, and then I wouldn't have this army ready in position. We wouldn't have the guys ready. I don't know. Maybe I overthought it. But anyway, I'm curious. Do I still get the Gandhi's card ability if he leaves the Fellowship? And apparently I can't, which seems, I don't know. It's one of those rules. Seems a bit weird. But anyway, so I move my guys here. I've never seen that before. I don't think I've ever seen the entire Fellowship just go to all at once, including Gandalf the Grey, just hanging out all together, leaving the hobbits all alone with Gollum in Rivendell. Bit of a weird one. 7 companions in one spot, and I've got nothing to lose. Why not? So Mikhail has a think. He says that changes the game completely, and I say yes. And he says I didn't even get Gandalf the White. So yeah, he says very all in. So that was my gamble, to try and not get Gandalf the White and just make use of every single dice possible this turn, because I need to win ASAP. I can't. This isn't going to be a long game. I need to just win it now or never. So Mikhail has a think. He moves an army down, presumably to try and block me off here to West Horondor. Decides against it. He musters 2 guys in Umbar and Dol Guldur. I pass. He moves the Lamadin boys down. I have a big hum, and then I pass. He goes to Osgiliath. He attacks Emian's Peligir. I got a bit concerned actually, because if he had actually gone for Osgiliath, I think that would have actually scared me more, because my plan next dice is to combine these two armies to make one mega army, which gives me my best chance of winning the game and taking a stronghold. Whereas if he attacks Osgiliath, I either have to run away to Peligir and have kind of a slightly shitty army, or I have to go to Minas Tirith, and then I'm further away from my targets. So I think actually attacking Osgiliath would have actually... I was glad when he said that he was actually attacking Peligir. Peligir gets him to the extra victory point, and it moves this army closer to blocking Arondor, but it makes it harder for me to combine armies, and I have the initiative next turn to get my armies somewhere or other. So he plays Cruel as Death, he kills my guy, I do nothing back, and he's up to 6 victory points. And with my final trick, I move these guys down to next to Dol Guldur, and I combine these armies. I consider leaving a guy, but I think I need every last man to fight and win it ASAP. And also, I don't think he can win the game next turn, and maybe even the turn after, while defending. Or if I don't know, I'm kind of gambling on him, like the race. I'm thinking, okay, you can take Minas Tirith, and you can try and go for the 10. You can try and race me, but I'm going to beat you. I'm going to gamble on giving him a free stronghold or an extra dice, because I think I can get there first. So again, a gamble, but let's see what happens. So he musters a guy into Dol Guldur, and we roll again. Turn 5, draws into Stormcrow, I draw into File and Thrandra's Archers, and he draws into Nazgul's Search. And finally, things are starting to turn, because he actually has quite a bad roll this turn. He has finally all the eyes start coming out, and he has 2 Palantirs. He only has 2 attacks this turn, which is amazing for me, absolutely amazing. So everything's coming up Millhouse right now, after 3 turns of nonsense. In terms of the action dice. So first, I think, what's the priority here? I really don't want him to muster up extra guys in Dol Guldur. I think maybe the better play would have actually just been to get this army here. No, I think I want to get the Dol Guldur army in place first, in case he had like Shadows Gather or some nonsense. Yeah, because that's true actually. If he had Shadows Gather, 1, 2, 3, that would have lost me the game, I think, almost instantly. So I think I had to do this actually in retrospect. I didn't even notice the Shadows Gather option before, but yeah, I had to do this. So I go into Dol Guldur. He plays Nazgul Search, which is convenient for getting guys down into Peligir. I'm kind of pleasantly surprised here, because I thought he would block off my route to West Horondor. Because if he blocks that route to West Horondor, my only option really is to go here to North Ithilien, and then if I go to North Ithilien, he can then defend it with this big army here. So what I was hoping was to get down here first, and then if he attacks me, I can scout away to here, or I did scout away to here, or even if he wins the combat, Storm of Bats, whatever, and then we have a fight, and I retreat. If he doesn't press, then I can retreat here, and then the start of the next round, I can then attack into Minas Morgul, and then I have the initiative. He can't defend Minas Morgul. I can go into Gorgoroth, maybe I can go for Barad-dûr. So I've got like the crucial, I think if Mihail made one mistake here, it probably was not getting this army into West Horondor, because it gives me the initiative basically. So I move down here, and I'm kind of like, if he attacks me, I'm fine with that. I'm going to run away to South Ithilien. If he doesn't attack me, also fine with that. I'm going to go and take Umbar. So he musters up. I attack into Umbar. He moves his army down, and I need to take Umbar. So I'm thinking, uh-oh, I'm not going to be able to win this turn, but I need to take Umbar this turn before he can just attack me in open warfare. get into a siege, a stronghold. So then I can go into a siege, and then next turn I should easily be able to take Dol Guldur, and fingers crossed it's all going to be alright. So I use a ring, I play Valor to make extra sure that I take it, and I get a great roll. Great roll. Didn't even need Valor. And take down. So part of me was there thinking, oh, I could have left a guy behind in here just to slow him down. Maybe I should have done that. But how was I to know I was... yeah, I think I should have done that. I think I should have left one guy behind here to slow him down. I think that would have been a smart play. But you never know how it's going to go. Sometimes it takes, a million, you use 4 elites to try and take down, 2 defenders because you just aren't rolling the dice. So you never know. Maybe it was fine. He draws a card, and then with his final trick, he moves up. So now, he takes Minas Tirith, and then he goes up to Druiden. So what Mihail tells me with this move is saying, you can get to 4 points. I don't care. I'm going to get to 10 first. And this is kind of what I was gambling on, because I just thought, how is he going to get to 10? I don't think he's going to be able to, probably isn't going to be able to take Helm's Deep. Is he going to be able to get the 4 cities? I've got the North at war. I can muster up a bunch of guys in the Shire. So I'm kind of gambling on him not being able to get to 10 next turn, and I will be able to get to 4. So that's part of the reason I left Minas Tirith open, to give him this temptation, so that he wouldn't just come charging down here. So to be fair, like these armies against that army, that's not a guarantee. But if he has like Grand and Deadly Strife, and he just maybe like Hill Trolls or something, that doesn't, he can still take down one stronghold. So I was more worried about that, I think, than him actually getting to 10 elsewhere on the board. Maybe that was again a poor calculation. So we go into turn 6. He draws into Shadows. I draw into Dead Men of Dunharrow, and a Power 2 Great. So 2 very tasty cards for me there, which change things a little bit, especially with Misty Mountains coming on the same turn. So he rolls this. It's an alright roll. I think he's got 5 attacks if you include a ring. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 attacks including a ring. Yes. And I roll this. So this is great. This is great. This is what I need. It's 3 attacks. But suddenly, a devious plan forms in my mind. You see, Mihail is thinking, I'm going to get to 10 points. He's got lots of options. He can combine. He could combine armies up here and try and take down. We could try and defend. He could come down here with these and try and attack that. But that's a lot of dice. 1, 2, 3, 4. Well, that's 2, and then 3 to attack, then 4 to combine. Actually, you don't even need to combine, do you? Anyway, it's a bunch of dice. He can go to Edoras and the Shire. What cards has he got? Yeah, so he can use Shadows to get armies here. He could... What else could he do? He could try and do something with Lorien. He could get the Shadows army and charge into Lorien. I don't know. There's a bunch of things he could try to do to get to 10 victory points this turn. But I have Dead Men of Dunharrow, which is crucial. Perfect timing for that card. So all I got to do is take Dol Guldur. I don't even use a card because I think I can take it, and I get a delicious roll. So my rolls have been good. I'm up plus. Oh, I think these are switched. Yeah, these are switched. So I'm +4 and 6s, which makes up somewhat for my -6 in 6 turns character dice and -1 on wills. But anyway, but that was good. Makes that only take 1 hit. So this is very strong, very strong. But now, whatever he does, I'm safe in the knowledge that I have a nasty trick up my sleeve, which he is unaware of. So Mihail has a big think. He plays Shadows. So I'm thinking, is he going to go for Lorien here? What's he going to do? I pass, because I don't want to give him any information whatsoever. He starts moving armies. I realize, okay, he's going for the Shire, and he's going to go for Edoras. So move, 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 move. So there we go, that's a move. And at this point, if I was him, I'd be quite suspicious of the fact that I'm passing. It's pretty clear what he's going to do. So why haven't I moved the army across from Western Met? Why haven't I started mustering in the Shire? I could get 3 guys in there, but using 2 musters and a actually, having said that, no, I can't because my pool is, yeah, so I'm actually out of elites. So okay, so I couldn't have actually mustered that much in the Shire. But anyway, so he moves into Edoras. Is it too good to be true for the Shadow? Why is the free people not defending? Why would the free people not defend? Because Strider to the rescue, baby. Strider goes into Eastern Met. And then suddenly I realise, hey, I can take more than just Strider. I need some more Captains of the West here. So I take everyone except for the Hobbits and Gandalf, who I leave to hang out in Dol Guldur. He moves the army across here to here. And then suddenly I'm like, oh no, I've got a problem. Because if I play Deadman, I can either attack Pelargir, and then it's a gamble. If I attack Pelargir, and I get like 1 hit, then I've only got like a 3 army. He goes to Lamadan, he attacks me back, maybe wins, probably wins, and then he uses his final attack to attack the Shire, then I lose the game. If I roll like 6 hits, then sure, I win the game, but you'd never know with Deadman, it could go badly. If I go to Lamadan, I've got scouts. I can scout away to Erech, and then next turn use my final dice to go to Dol Amroth, and then I win the game. But then I look at the card, which I'd forgotten. You can go to Erech. Good old Erech, good old trusty Erech. You always forget about Erech. I love that guy. Erech's a great guy. So that's what I do. I use my ring to go to Erech. I get 3 guys in Erech, and there's nothing you can do. And I forget to use a die. And that's it. It's GG. It's GG because whatever he does now, if he moves the army here to Lamadan, I go into Lamroth, he uses the other die to put me into a siege using the ring, and he can't take it back. So it's the game's over effectively. And yeah, so I mean, it's a weird one because I was so unlucky in the first 3 turns in terms of my action dice, but then the confusion worked out. I got the North to War. It's all just kind of a weird happenstancey kind of thing, but I did get some really crucial cards at the right time, drawing into We Prove the Swifter, just as I got enough movement to just get the guys over here, drawing into Faramir's Rangers to get this army bigger and shrink this army, and then finally the most crucial card of all. Maybe I could have survived doing some other shenanigans anyway. Oh, I just realised actually, even though it doesn't matter, I could have marched into Moria and got up to 6 victory points with my final movement. That's kind of cool. We didn't actually play out the rest, but I could have actually got 6 victory points as 3 people, which is a rarity. But then, yeah, crucially, Dead Men have done Harrow. Beautiful card, so rare that I play it. This is probably my first. This is my first military victory on the server. And it came in such a sneaky way with the dead. Well, yeah, thanks to the Dead Men. So yeah, Mikhail, great opponent, great player, and thank you for the game. Thank you for the game. It was a really fun one, even though it only lasted 6 turns. He did actually, for a second, we had a chat, and he did actually have Swarm of Bats. So if I had done the Lamadan plan and I tried to scouts away, he would have stopped me. If he'd got 3 hits, maybe he played Deadly Tribe or something like that, you know. These guys could have all died on the way to Erech before they could escape, so that would have probably gone badly. Did he have any nasty cards? So yeah, he could have played Desperate Battle. Oh, he would have had to play some more bats actually, but yeah, it's not hard to get 3 hits on 5s on 12 dice. So I probably would have lost the game until I remembered Erech. Good old Erech. But yeah, we had a chat, and then suddenly at one moment, Mikhail said, "Wait, I think I can still win," and he thought that he had. Because he had dreadful spells, he could have moved to Lamadan, played dreadful spells on Dol Amroth, but it wouldn't have been enough to take it back anyway, because it would have still been under my control, I think. And he would have needed the extra die to take the Shire to get to. Yeah, he would have. Yeah, okay. So even if he killed me, I would have still had control, so it wouldn't have worked. But yeah, thanks for watching. Let me know your thoughts, any tips, advice, whatever, comments. But yeah. Cheers. Bye bye. Love you.